July 11th, 2025, the date DC fans and moviegoers have been waiting for. As Superman premiered worldwide, it wasn't just another blockbuster, it dropped a cinematic bombshell. Directed by James Gunn and launching Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters of the Revamped DC Universe, DCU, this film didn't just land, it landed with a global opening weekend of about $217 million. That isn't just impressive, it's DC's strongest solo hero debut in nearly a decade. From the first teaser to the final act, Superman had the hallmarks of cultural impact. A beloved hero reimagined through a hopeful, empathetic lens. Strong casting choices, David Corenswet, Rachel Brosnahan, Nicholas Hoult, and an emotional resonance that transcends blockbusters. By its third weekend, Superman had already become the highest-grossing superhero film of 2025 globally, leapfrogging every Marvel and DC release before it. This isn't just about one film, it's about a reboot as bold as Superman's flight. It's a canvas painted with vibrant visuals, emotional storytelling, and real stakes. The film signals the DCU overhaul is here, and Superman is the spark that lit it all aflame. Superman's opening weekend figures weren't just strong, they rewrote the DC record book. With about $122 million earned domestically, it became the highest opening solo Superman film ever, surpassing Man of Steel's $116 million. In 2013, although some fan communities debate whether Man of Steel still edges ahead due to cheaper average ticket prices and preview discrepancies, the flat dollar comparison shows Superman takes the crown for modern launches. Internationally, its $95 million debut added to a weekend total near $217 million globally, marking DC's biggest such launch in years. By mid-July, in just 2 weeks, the film had passed $409 million worldwide, a feat that vaulted it to the number 8 highest-grossing film of 2025 so far. On day 17, it surpassed 3,600 crore rupees globally. Indeed, by its third weekend, it had overtaken all other 2025 superhero releases in total gross, Marvel included, cementing itself as the top film of the genre this year. Superman's success landed at a pivotal moment. Amid lingering concerns about superhero fatigue, audiences were seen as tiring of overloaded multiverses and interconnected slog narratives. But Superman and Marvel's own The Fantastic Four. First Steps, which grossed $118 million domestically, arrived just weeks apart, both earning praise and impressive numbers, proving the genre's vitality isn't dead yet, Vulture Esquire. Superman earned $125 million in opening weekend, not only topping every solo DC launch, but beating Fantastic Four's debut too. Analysts say this signals a vital shift. When strong standalone stories are told, fans respond. At the same time, DC Studios is back in competitive form. Warner Bros. And DC have quietly rebuilt around Gunn and Peter Safran's new leadership. With Superman's financial and cultural momentum, the DC Universe reboot is validated, the blueprint for smaller, human-scale stories that feel emotionally rooted without losing spectacle. At San Diego Comic-Con, fans cheered not just for Superman, but for upcoming DCU titles. A magazine opined that strong standalone entries like Superman signal a healthier, more accessible franchise strategy, and audiences agree, queuing up to see Superman's hopeful morality take flight again. What makes Superman 2025 more than just another blockbuster? At its heart lies a humanized, emotionally layered Superman like we haven't seen before. Director James Gunn deliberately shaped Clark Kent with imperfections. He shows anger, moral struggle, and ethical conviction in equal measure. Scenes where Clark loses his temper, whether confronting Lois Lane or barging into LexCorp, ground his invulnerability in emotional truth, making him relatable cinema blend. Composer John Murphy and co-composer David Fleming crafted a score rooted in legacy and innovation. Gunn insisted on weaving in John Williams' original Superman march. Critical response fans reflect that care. Rotten Tomatoes shows an 83% critics score. CinemaScore gave it an A-. Reviewers praise performances from David Corenswet, Superman, Rachel Brosnahan, Lois, and Nicholas Hoult, Luthor. Hoult shaped Lex Luthor as obsessive, credible, and intellectually dangerous. One of the most compelling Lex portrayals in recent memory, critics from outlets like Screen Rant called it a blockbuster for the summer season in all its glory, and some even hailed it as the injection of adrenaline the genre desperately needed after overstuffed cinematic universes. With Superman sharply outperforming expectations, DC Studios has leeway and momentum, announced just days after Superman's success. Ana Nogueira, fresh off scripting Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, has been tapped to write the Wonder Woman reboot. Having nailed the launch title, DC is now eyeing upcoming entries with renewed confidence. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, due in 2026, promises more of Gunn's character-focused storytelling. There's buzz around lanterns, Metamorpho, and a layered take on the future Justice League as teased in interviews, and slates expanding from Superman's interconnected. In recent interviews, Gunn alluded to multiverse devices, narrative cameos by characters such as Supergirl, Guy Gardner, and Metamorpho, and early setups for Ultraman, efforts that suggest Superman is as connective tissue as it is standalone heroism. Meanwhile, Alex Borstein, speaking at SDCC, proudly celebrated David Corenswet as the first Jewish Superman, and joked with Brosnahan over being Loises, a meta-nod to evolving representation and identity in the new DCU. Taken together, Superman delivered both artistically and commercially, earning $503 million globally as of late July, and ranking in the top 10 of 2025 releases worldwide. As the credits roll on Superman 2025, one thing is crystal clear: DC has taken flight in a bold new direction. From its record-breaking opening weekend to its soaring global gross, over $500 million within weeks and counting, the film has proven that strategic rebooting plus heartfelt storytelling resonates beyond hype. Esquire, the Times of India Wikipedia. It shattered DC's previous standalone Superman debut records, topped all superhero films of 2025, and revived optimism in an industry bracing for audience fatigue. Critics and fans praised not just the scale, but the sincerity. A Superman grounded in hope, integrity, and emotional stakes. Its score tied to legacy yet fresh. Its cast resonant. As the opening salvo of DCU's Gods and Monsters chapter, with Supergirl, Wonder Woman, Lanterns, Peacemaker, Season 2, and more on the horizon, DC is stacking a lineup that blends superhero spectacle with grounded humanity. Strategically, the studio is leaning into standalone titles that feed into a connective mythos, not forcing a mega shared universe, but letting individual stories build into bigger arcs naturally. In essence, Superman's flight is just the beginning. Its box office dominance, cultural resonance, and promising creative trajectory signal that the new DC universe has landed, and it's here to stay.